idir a héin agus I trí chug an na nnéan muid an panel, cíú agus bíanú ar chuasaí an tail, mar leis do lethir an phobal. An na nnéan muid díireacht na fíricí, na fríiricí agus an nóin na bréga brada a scarú agus a scagú an na héile agus a nírinne glán an nachtú. Seo lein mar sin go dtí an chláis achtainiúil Alternative Facts. Now, Alternative Facts, as you started the program, going out live from here, Erris in Glora on 90.8 FM. It is a program in which we, the panel, bring to your attention, discuss and evaluate local, national and international news as presented to the public. On the panel today, we have a bit of a vacancy on the panel today. Ted is not here yet, but he may be here later on. And if he is, we will let you know when he comes in. But as usual, on the right and left winger here, Paul is over there on the right. And I'm here, Eddie Dever, and Paul Wallens on the right. And up on the high seat is James Munley. James is the one that controls the electronics and everything like that. And on the flick of a switch or the push of a button, he can keep us all quiet. Or he thinks he can, anyhow. But some of us keep talking anyhow, no matter what happens. Anyhow, we, the panel, we will endeavour to put before you our version and assessment of the presented facts. But of course, you, the public, will be the ultimate judges as to whether or not they are indeed fact, alternative facts, falsehoods, or merely political spin. Now, we welcome all our listeners to the program today. We also welcome our electronic or the social media listeners that are listening to us in different parts of the world. And we would invite you to, if you want to say a few words or ask a question or make a statement or contradict something that was said or whatever you'd like, you are very welcome to contact us through your social media, and we would be delighted to hear from you. Now, as usual, our first item of agenda would be the local news. And the big news of the week was the cancellation of the Belmullah St. Patrick's Day Parade, or more specifically, the reason for it. It was to make us aware of and to rue the tragic death of a very popular and talented young man, Oisín Gruddy. Oisín was an exceptional in many ways. He was a good son, grandson, brother, nephew, relative, friend, and neighbour. He was a talented student, a gifted worker, and a willing helper. He is gone, but never forgotten. May his gentle soul rest in eternal peace in the presence of perfection. And Yishlav J. Gro Anam Ursel. That is the reason was in respect for rushing that the St. Patrick's Day Parade was cancelled. Paul, do you want to say a few words on?
Well, I think it's just such a tragedy for the family and for the wider community. I think it's really has impacted on the community as a whole, and I think our thoughts and prayers are with the family.
We sympathise with the family, James.
Exactly, just pure sympathy for everyone that's involved there.
It's not only a sympathy for the family and relatives, it's a sympathy for the area. I mean, it's a tragic event in the area. The whole thing. A man of 21 years, I think.
20, wasn't even 21. He was busy organising his 21st birthday the week before.
Well, let us hope and pray that he is now in a better place. So we would like to see him here with us, still with us, up until old age like the rest of us. Anyhow, the other local news is the Erris workability clinics will continue in the following centres. Solace, Acclaim, Wednesday, March the 26th, Chagrani, Cornboy, Wednesday, April the 2nd, and Bangor Centre in Bangor Erris, Wednesday, April the 9th. Now, the Belmullah Chamber of Commerce have elected a new chairman. He is Brian Bakebird. He is replacing Damien Langan, who has served as a representative of the organisation for many years in a leading, progressive and good way. He is Brian Bakebird is a businessman of local, national, and international status. He is determined to sustain and continue a strong community ethos and to create a strong and progressive climate in which business can thrive and grow and be sustained in the Erris area. So, well, go to Father Boo and the league, and may they succeed in their ambitions. Now, the Minister for Rural, Social and Gaeltacht Affairs, Derek O'Leary, has announced and sanctioned some project for the Irish area, or some grants that are being given. Cork, Common Forborough and Dervla and Acklim is getting 61,760. It's to repair roof and plumbing in the centre. The second one, Shervishi Kurum Kilcommon, are getting 64,120 to upgrade of plumbing, doors, windows, and the heating facilities. And the third one is Alenia Erris would get 82,867 for new lighting, air conditioning, and heating system. The Kilmore Community Sports Field Committee had their AGM there recently, and they have announced recently they have a very ambitious program of making facilities available for the sports people and athletic people of Erris. The development work that will take some money, and fundraising will have to be lively and substantial. The new LED lighting system has already been put in place and installed. It facilitates the two playing fields, one for soccer and one for GAA pitches, and but a very ambitious. They're installing a professional athletic racetrack, and the new track will help to identify, train, coach, develop, and promote young athletes to achieve their potential, whether that may be of local, national, or international perspective. Funding will be very important, and fundraising that will be of the essence has already started. Now, the Sean Ruan Vacliam and his brothers Michael, Patrick, and Martin have already taken part in the St. Patrick's Day weekend road race in Holyoke, New York, to raise awareness and generate funds for the project involved. Now, they would also like to have volunteers and workers volunteers, and I'm sure they will get that, because it's a very good project. This racetrack, it'll be professional, and it'll be a great help to the already established Erris Athletic Club, and it will help to facilitate our young people while they're growing up, and for us, other people to see the potential of youngsters that may be have the talents to go further afield, and to coach them into and train them into that. So, got a Father Boo and there's a slogan now. Now, Daffodil Day this year will be on Friday, March the 28th. This is an event that raises money to help facilitate that those who are suffering from cancer and the treatment of cancer. Give what you can. Volunteers are welcome, and if you wish to help in the event or the collection of the funds for the Daffodil Day, you can contact Mary on 087 134 3365 or Linda at 086 564544. Now, the Erris branch of the Irish Hill Farmers Association are holding a tractor run and a vintage vehicle run on Easter Sunday. That's 20th of April 25. They will be joined by vintage clubs and enthusiasts from across the Midlands. And the proceeds of this event are to go to a very worthy cause, which is Northwest Stop Suicide Prevention. That is a very worthy cause in Gurfadabuanya, and I hope that event will be well.
Yeah, we
well-
wish them every success.
Pardon?
We wish them every success.
We wish them every success. Well, there are so many good charitable organisations working in Erris now, and kind of is.
And the great thing is that the support that all those organisations get from the
It
people
is
itself.
very important to the support of that, yeah. But on a lighter note now, Gail Chalaste Chomain in Rossport to be congratulated on winning the product award in the Mayo Students Enterprise Award competition recently held in Ballina with a small company, Rossport Boards and Company. That's the schools are doing their own part in the in the development of events in areas, and kind of apart from the charitable organisations that raise funds to prevent or to help people in trouble, the kind of is I think the schools do the bit as well. Now the Spanish students are coming here to Erris on June 24th and 25th. They will be coming for 1 month, and they will be in the age group of around 13 to 17 years. And the organisers would like to arrange accommodation for the students. The students will be coming to see how we live in Ireland and how we enjoy ourselves and get on with life, and maybe speak a bit of English and maybe a couple of Fakul Gaeilge Fáith. And they will be here for about 1 month, and there is a fee of €400 per week, and one student per house, and it would be good that it was needed and necessary to have maybe a youngster of the similar age and gender to the student that you would be keeping. That's between 13 and 17 years. So if you would be interested in becoming a host, you can ring Rena at 087 414 4252. Now, I think the tours from Erris to Cavan, to Slieve Russell Hotel in Cavan, I think it's an annual event.
Very popular hotel.
It's a very popular hotel. It'll be this year on July 30th to June 30th to July the 3rd. But you must book now as soon as possible, because, as the lads will say, it is a very popular journey, a very popular few days off. And
Availability is limited.
Pardon?
Availability is limited.
Availability is limited, and you need a deposit of €50, Paul, if you're going as well. But
Paul,
you
need to win the lotto now if you want to go.
well, now it'll be a long time. We're a long time waiting for Paul to win the
Well,
lotto.
I guess he's not going to Slieve Russell.
You shouldn't be rubbing that now. You shouldn't be saying that, James. Poor Paul. He tries his best.
We'll do a fundraiser and we'll get him out there.
Possibly a tractor run.
Tractor on, yeah. Will you sit in the back bucket or something like that? Anyhow, to book for this tour to the Slieve Russell Hotel in Cavan, you ring Mary at 087 923 2337. The Kilmore United Soccer Club, they're enjoying their third consecutive year in the Premier Division here, and kind of they will have some tough games with the Irish United as well, because they're in the same division. So kind of but they had their AGM there recently, and the officers elected were Chairman Sir Lavelle, Secretary Kieran Schultz, good Irish name as well. Treasurer Mecca Boyle and the PRO Sean Ruan. So kind of as well. Good luck to all the sporting clubs that are functioning in Erris, and long may they survive and continue. Lotto.
I didn't get a ticket, so
Well, you hold on to see what happens. No, just before the lotto, there's a Gaeltacht committee out now, and they're promoting hurling and camogie amongst the youth of Erris, and they have this year they will have games for hurlers, under 12 hurling and under 12 camogie teams, and there'll also be an under 14 hurling team. So it's now lucky then I hope to do very well, because the hurling and camogie are two very nice, two very good games, and the youth of the Erris should enjoy it well. Now we did have a hurling team here many years ago, and the end of last century the under 16 Belmullet hurling team won the county championship. That was in 1996, I believe. So
A long time ago.
yeah, it's a long time ago, but the children of those hurlers are still around and is getting involved now again. So got a father boo and years to come on. Gaeltacht Erris. Now this crowd, Gaeltacht Erris committee, the lotto, they only draw three numbers, 1, 11, and 16, and the bonus number is 5. There was no winner of the €500 prize. The pot or is at as the golden pot is at 18,700, with a minimum of 15,000 for every draw. You may play on the line. Training is for the hurlers as every Thursday evening in the town park here in Belmullet. And Kiltane GA bingo was every Tuesday in the Bangor Hall. The jackpot is at $550 for 46 calls or less. And there is another little, before we go on to the lotto, there is another little problem in the town of Belmullet that has been talked about, is for those people who walk the dogs around the place, they allowed them, some of them maybe, to lift their tails and deposit some stuff in different places without cleaning it up, and the people in the town of Belmullet would like to appeal to those who do so to go to different places where it won't be an encumbrance of to have dog waste lying around in different places.
Or to clean it up.
Or you're supposed to bring
or to bring the, what do you call that bag?
your poop bag.
Eh?
Your poop bag.
Yes, poop bag. Yeah. Well, sure, the dog will do what the dog will do, but it's up to us, the people that are supposed to be intelligent, to correct the mistakes. Kilcommon Lotto, jackpot, 9,900, no winners. Numbers drawn, 2, 17, 20, and 34. The house prize of €100 went to Jack Healy of Balnaboy. The offline €30 prizes went to Clodagh Noon, the Lighthouse, wherever that may be. And the second one was Kathleen Ruddy of Falla.
I think that's Inver.
The Lighthouse would be.
Lighthouse, online prize of €30, Stacey Barrett of Acclaim and Shona Coultry of Belderrig. The jackpot, the next draw, would be £10,000. Kiltane GA Lotto, there was one winner. He should have been in this week. It went at 17,000, and jackpot. It was won by Kyle Padden.
Oh.
Now, the new jackpot will start for the next draw at it usually starts at €3,000.
Mhm.
But to appreciate the support they get from all the people like Paul who do their lottos, or people who support them or sponsor them, they're starting at 5,000. So can you say the next jackpot will be, if Kiltane, will be 5,000. Now, congratulations to St. Brendan's College boys team for winning the Mayo County Championship and the O'Hare Cup. Harlow, that's what the schools are doing very well in sports in this area. And the Erris Agricultural Show recently presented the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association, which is another very good organisation. They presented them with a cheque of 2,554. That's all the local news I have. If any of you have any local news yourselves, let's hear it now or forever hold your peace.
As they say.
Shh. Now, how about that?
Well,
Nothing else.
with the local news being gone, I'd say we'll take a little break and we'll take a
Yes.
little bit of music. This time we're going to start off the show with Michael John Ruddy and his rendition of My Dear Old Mayo Home.
As I stand here on Darwin's coast and watch the setting sun, thoughts they come a-flooding back of times I used to know, when I played with my companions fair along the western shore. And the day I left, I will ne'er forget my dear old Mayo home. The night before my parting, the harvest moon shone down. It glittered on Black Sod Bay, close to Balmulla town. Slievemore on Achill Island, and Croagh-Patrick I could see. They stand tall and so majestic o'er the broad Atlantic Sea. I listen to the curlew cry and the seagull on the shore, the gentle sound of a rolling wave as it gently crashed towards shore. All those will soon be memories, for I know I've got to go and leave behind the place I love and my dear old Mayo home. So tonight I'll close my eyes and dream of an island so dear to me, with its mountains and its valleys green, beside the deep blue sea. I'll dream 'cause I'm a dreamer. It will take me back once more to the place I love and long to see, and my dear old Mayo home.
And keep another song ready.
Welcome back to Alternative Facts here on Erris FM on 90.8 FM and on various social media platforms and on YouTube. I think we're going live at the moment. If anybody wants to see what we look like, we do have faces for radio, but if anybody's
I think Paul wants to go on television, James. Can you arrange it?
Yeah, faces for radio and voices for silent disco.
Voices for the silent movies.
He wants to win the lotto and he wants to be on television. Next thing he'll want to be president.
Oh, stop!
Well, no, not me, but we're going on to national news, and there are talks that somebody does want to become president, and that is Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but we don't
Who?
have Egypts in abundance like they have in the States to vote someone like that. So
Well,
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, God help us if your man made it in the States. I could see Conor McGregor making it here.
he'd never
They're,
make it.
they're two good friends,
He'd
aren't
never
they?
can be friends all they want. Doesn't make him a nice person. He's
Well,
just
he's
He got-
Donald
yeah.
he's Donald Trump's favorite Irishman.
He's an
That's what he
arrogant
said.
thug.
His favorite Irishman.
and he's an arrogant tug. That's what he is.
A what?
An arrogant tug.
Tug.
A tug.
We had a tug in the European Song Contest as well.
No. Don't be saying that about Dana.
Bambi.
And did
55,
well.
2 days ago, 55 years ago, Dana brought home the Eurovision from The Hague. It's hard to believe, 55 years.
55 years ago.
Yeah.
God.
Who?
Dana.
Oh, Dana. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
She went for president. That didn't work out either.
She was a wee dairy girl.
Yeah.
Ah.
She didn't get her, so she didn't get to be president, did she? That didn't happen.
I thought she was from East London.
See, you can be wrong. Dana from East London?
No.
No. Derry girl.
She might have grown up there, but she was.
I remember
She's
Dana.
a bit like you. She was a blow-in.
Well, I mean, but just like me, where I blew from, I remember Dana visiting the local hotel there and singing a song as a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, and she says, Eddie, you're all kinds of everything.
Would I tell a lie?
No, we
Not
believe
at all.
you.
Not at all. Not at all.
What are you laughing at?
So this was obviously a long time before she was famous.
No.
Well-
What time did she enter the Eurovision? First time she was. Was she 17?
16, I think.
16.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You saw her as a 12-year-old.
I saw it in the local hotel in Glantang Loskidor.
And what did you think of her?
Huh?
What did you think of her at the time?
She was too young for me at that time.
As a singer.
Well, see, I'm one of those people. I can't sing. I'm tone deaf. And I wouldn't know a good song or a good singer from a bad singer. But I'd enjoy the rhythm of the song.
There you
And
go.
I could wiggle and waggle. Like a duck.
Once it had rhythm, you were on the floor. That was
Yeah.
it.
Once I could shake around, I'd be all right.
So were you
But
a
no,
driver
but
and a waltzer?
that's the truth. No, I can't sing. No, and I would not know good music, a good singer from a bad
Uh-huh.
singer.
Well, at least you're honest to say it.
Well, sure, it takes all kinds to make up the world.
All kinds of everything.
We all
yes.
can. Can't be talented like you two.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hmm?
Don't know about that. I definitely don't know about that.
Well, I think with me, I can sing a bit and I can play guitar a bit. But if I put the two together, I can do neither.
But anyway, back to McGregor's. What does it take to be endorsed to run for the presidency?
Well, I think he needs 20 nominations from.
from
I don't know, is it
musicians.
from the Shannon or from
I'd say the Shannon would be part of it anyway.
Shannon and the
The
Door?
Shannon would
Yeah.
be part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And could you seriously see 20 people coming forward to endorse a man like that?
Well, I don't know. Stranger things have happened.
Well, you look at
Well,
what happened in the States, as Eddie said.
when we think of things that shouldn't happen, that we think that shouldn't happen, look at the general election this year in Ireland, where a known national, international criminal nearly got a seat in Dáil Éireann.
However,
just-
he
he was just a few
didn't get
votes.
the seat, which is the important thing.
Yeah, but
He
then
was just a couple of votes off.
yeah, but then in a civil case, McGregor is named as a rapist, and he gets invited to the White House. So where do you
Well,
go from there?
he is making an appeal against that decision, and another appeal.
Another
Whether
appeal.
or not it'll be successful, I don't know. But kind of
What was it? 240,000 was awarded.
that case raised a lot of questions that were never
Uh-huh.
settled.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first type of thing.
But like, still, there are still cases still ongoing against Trump,
Yeah.
even though he's president of the United
But
States.
even when he became famous as a martial arts component, we all supported him. But I wouldn't class him as presidential material.
No, most definitely not. But it's, as we said, like during the break, he's not articulate in any way. He tries to make out he is. He doesn't have the brain to be a representative for Ireland. And with his opinions, he wouldn't be a representative of Ireland.
I mean, I think
No.
his views resonate with a certain demographic, but whether there are enough people who think like that, that if he was running, he would get in.
Well,
I think that I would hope that there are enough true Irishmen who would.
Could you imagine him up
vote
there?
against him?
No, but say he got nominated. Could you see him up on a presidential debate? Could you actually see?
No.
He wouldn't make sense. He'd just be
He's not a man I ever heard talking until he visited his counterpart in the American White House this year. I never heard him speaking or talking.
Wow.
And I don't think he's not. I mean, you can be critical of people, but you don't have to be critical of anybody to say they're not presidential material. And I would definitely say that Conor McGregor is not presidential material. No. And I would not like to see him anywhere either near or close to Erris Fm in Dublin.
No, my God, no. He
would and representing the country abroad.
Definitely no. I'd be in agreement with you there. If anyone's listening and they have ideas of saying yes for McGregor to be president, you need to go and get counselling.
Well, I mean, I did read that during the week that some of the board of management or people in charge of his various companies are resigning because of his attitude. There seems to be a disagreement even within his own companies. So if you can't keep the peace there, you really need to worry about if he did become. But I could see, I don't know whether he would get the nominations. Thinking back to what happened in the UK a few years ago, nobody thought that Jeremy Corbyn would get the nominations necessary to even run in the Labour Party, never mind for him to win. And it was only that enough people were convinced that they ought to at least show willing, so that people wouldn't say he was actually.
Yeah, but in the situation,
he was excluded.
But the thing about,
and I could see if Conor McGregor.
But the situation there where Corbyn was, the Labour Party knew they didn't have anyone else to really put forward.
Well, they had loads of people,
but none even had the stature of Corbyn, even though as little as Corbyn's stature was.
Yeah, but Corbyn only got the nominations because of they didn't want to be seen as excluding him.
Yeah, and he was the scapegoat for what was happening to Labour.
He
was the scapegoat for Labour.
He was in the end, but I'm talking about when he got the nomination. Nobody in their wildest dreams thought that he would actually win the leadership.
Could the support that he got be attributed to the unpopularity of his opponent?
Well, that, and as I said, no one else really there.
It's an element to be considered in something like that. And if Conor McGregor ran for president, or if he ever did succeed in getting the nomination, which I don't think he would, a lot would depend on the opponents.
Well, that's another situation too. Who else is going to go forward? Who else is going to look for that position?
Some people like to give a slap in the wrist to the rest of us at times.
But at the end of the day, there's no way McGregor would get that support. And if he did, all you had to do was listen to the uproar from all the politicians who spoke up about his him representing Ireland in the White House.
Oh, that was. I
You know?
thought that was. I thought that was. I'm looking for a word to describe that because
That is broadcastable.
Yeah, I was just about to say we're not allowed to use those
that's the
words.
thing, but when you think of it, the traditional day for the Taoiseach of this country to present the bowl of shamrocks was on St. Patrick's Day,
Mhm.
not 5 days before, as Trump had this year, and to see what went in there on the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day in the White House in America, pretending to represent the people of
Mhm.
Ireland. I don't think it was. It was not a good move,
Yeah,
and
but he
I
was.
could not
But
support
he
it
was
in
even
any way,
asked. He
shape,
was
or
even
form.
asked questions when he was at the podium that he couldn't answer. And what was her name? The press.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, but she jumped
She's-
in straight away
Yeah,
because she knew he didn't know what to say or how to say it. You know, because he was dumbfounded there. There was a few seconds gap there until she jumped in,
so
and
his
he didn't
potential-
even have an answer.
His
So
potential is not as known outside Ireland as well.
his
But I
potential
think
of
the thing is, he is a known Irishman, one of the few to be known in America
Mm.
because of his previous life, and I'm sure we'll get onto this later on when we're talking international news. But Trump seems to be running everything there as a game show or as a live feed. It's all television. It's not a reality TV show.
But how did he get in touch with Colin McGregor? It was never known before that they were in any way, shape, or form.
Abusers Anonymous.
Abusers
and then
Anonymous and Twitter
to call him his favorite Irishman.
Yeah, well,
That puts us all.
words come out of that man's mouth that he doesn't even realise he says. So
We
can't take
And
it-
also Colin McGregor.
and we can't take it as fact. It just can't be. Like we go back to fake news.
You have to support the Conor McGregor's achievements. So martial arts would not be my favorite sport, either itself or boxing. I find it hard at times to think of.
I took up cage fighting a few years ago and I had to give it up. Budgies were absolutely vicious.
No, I mean,
we better be careful now.
Oh God, what will you do?
He may turn on us, Paul, next.
Anyways, what's happened with McGregor is a farcical thing on the part of Trump and on the part of whoever took that invite and gave it to him. I don't know. It wasn't from the Irish people, let's put it that way. He wasn't put forward as a representative for Ireland.
Oh, in no shape or form.
In no shape or form. So the end
nor
of the day,
was he in any way, shape, or form representative of the Irish people.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All it was a little bit of news, and he got that.
It's a bit of news, but it went worldwide.
It may go right, but it's not going to make. It's not going to make his presidential run any stronger.
Somebody else in another country may say it's not the best that Ireland can produce on the day of their patron saint.
Well, I think the only way he's going to get someone to put his name forward is if he threatens to beat them up.
I'm sure it was President Musk who actually put him forward because Musk is making money out of McGregor.
Oh yeah,
just like he's making money out of Tommy Ten Names, Mr. Yaxley Lennon.
Yeah, anything he can throw up on social media.
These right wing blowhards who just make they are the thing that's keeping Twitter alive or X, as we need to call it now, because it's only engagements with nonsense that's keeping Twitter going, because any rational thought seems to have migrated a long time ago.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So we're fairly confident that McGregor will not be the next.
Well, we
Uchteron?
Radio Pobl Irish will not be supporting him. Let's put it that way.
No, definitely not.
Especially the Alternative Facts program.
But what if he came as a sponsor?
Oh, things would change dramatically.
Oh God, no! I don't think even then that'd happen. I don't think even then.
I don't think he's going to spend his money on the likes of Radio Pubble Irish.
The man has his money made, so.
When a night in a hotel cost him €225,000.
Well, it's when one of the
Well,
statements
more
he
than
made,
that, because there's
Oh, well,
2.5 million bill
legal
for
fees.
legal fees.
yeah, but as he says, I have 200 people working for me, and then it was 300. So he doesn't even know how many people work for him. So,
And then it was 150 after the resignation.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Oh.
Well, we'll move from one contentious Irishman to another one.
And who might that be?
Mr. Burke.
Oh my God!
Enoch.
Yes, his bank account and his salary has
Enoch,
been
poor
frozen.
Enoch, I complaining about him again.
He had over 40,000 in his account, and he cannot access it.
He did very well in Washington, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Well,
But the only problem is there was no journalists around
No, they all left.
to report this.
well,
activities.
that technically wasn't Enoch. That was all his family, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was the family themselves.
Especially his mother. She was now we know where he got it from.
Mm. She can be quite abusive.
Mm.
Very
Well-
verbally abusive. Oh my God, she can be. Like, you wouldn't want to get in the crossfire. Definitely not.
No.
Beyond the shadow.
But it's
She
a
has a
pity,
sharp tongue.
It's a pity
Mhm.
because his original complaint was an acceptable one,
Mhm.
but his tactics were off the
Yeah, but
line.
now his funding has been taken away. So where does he go from here?
Well, kind of is that his funding can they take it away or can they just throw him
It
in
is
jail
frozen.
again?
It is frozen because, the fines that he's built up alone, there's not enough money in that bank account to cover it.
Not at all. No, he hasn't
Well,
enough money.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, he's still being paid because technically
No, the salary is being frozen. It's
But-
not being paid into the account
Yeah.
now.
there's an attachment
An
attachment being made to his earnings to try and recoup some of the
Mhm.
money that he owes.
Yeah.
And this is one of those strange situations where, a bit like the orange orangutan across the water, if you don't take any notice of the law,
Hmm.
the law is made to look an ass, because unless the authorities are prepared to crack down on you really hard, you can just laugh your way through life.
So the authority should have been stricter on him. I mean, I cannot see why, while he was roaming outside the doors of the school, that the guards could not come arrest him and
Well, as I said,
take him away.
I think he used the phrase that they are creating precedent on everything they throw at him. In other words, as you said, it's a thing that hasn't been done, but now it is being done, and it is within the law.
But he's still roaming around the school, isn't he?
Well, he was in Castlebar this morning, or yesterday morning, when trying to access his account. I watched the
Oh.
video this morning, so it must have been yesterday morning he had the video out. But watched it through, and he did come close to tears, because I think he's starting to realise that he's not going to get away with saying what he wants to say, where he wants to say it, and how he wants to say it.
We have to have
Well, it kind of, I suppose you can give him one thing, kind of, he is strong in his
Mhm.
conviction.
Well, and he's entitled to his convictions.
Oh, he
but-
is. There's no doubt about that. and,
he's entitled to serve time for his convictions.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Like, it follows
but,
through.
he's entitled to his conviction, but he also must show respect to the law than I,
Yeah, but as Paul,
which he did not.
but as Paul
how many
point-
contempt of court did he
but as
have?
Paul pointed out when we had this debate a few months ago, like, the attack wasn't in the school; it was at a fundraiser or something to that.
It was a private function
Yeah, a private
at
function
night-
that was on.
at night, and
Mhm.
he just would not leave the headmistress
Mhm.
alone to get on with what she was supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
His argument with her was on school premises or a board meeting, and he decided to take it outside that forum.
Well, just like
Yeah,
his
well, that's
family took it to a social gathering for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that was a bit. What word am I looking for there? Another
Thick.
broadcastable word.
Broadcastable word, yes.
I think it's thick in the Irish use of the word.
Sick.
Tick.
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 Tug. Tuggish.
Yeah, tick.
Eh?
Blank. Oh, well. So that's our Enoch Burke tribute, as they say.
Well,
but it is
he's always worth a few words.
A few
What
words.
would you
out
call
of it,
him?
yeah.
Would you call him a right or a left winger?
I don't think politics really has.
Politics really
No,
don't.
but his mentality.
Well, he's condemned the church to the last now yesterday, saying that they stood aside and didn't back his religion,
condemns
his beliefs.
He condemns decisions of the church, but
Yeah.
can you say he's still a staunch churchman.
He's still a Christian man,
Yeah,
as he
Christian
calls
Well,
himself.
I
Yeah.
don't. No, he might be.
But a Christian society of his liking.
Mm. Yeah, well,
I think that there's an awful lot of people who would doubt the Christianity that is being shown by him.
mhm. But I guess as it goes, he's saying his beliefs are stronger than the beliefs of those who want to identify differently.
He thinks they're more important than
Yeah.
anybody else's.
Yeah.
And you will find that, just like Mr.
Mm-hmm.
McGregor, Mr. McGregor thinks that his views are more important than
Well,
anybody
it's got to the
else's.
time now where the Bible does not map the world now, and it hasn't for a long time.
Mm.
And his argument is to the belief of the Bible. And
But
he's
doesn't the Bible say?
he's entitled to his convictions on that, his understanding of that.
And his beliefs.
But he
yes, yeah.
can't. But he can't deny other people's beliefs, let it be religion or not. He
But-
doesn't have the right to turn around and say, "Well, nope."
However, you
This is
must
how-
render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's,
Hmm.
Oh, now poor Caesar got enough.
Hey, too, Brutus.
and render unto God that which is God's, according to the Bible. So,
Yeah. So there's contradictions in what he says. There's contradictions in what has happened. But at the end of the day, he served time in prison for breaking the law, and he has
not
Well,
purged his
it's
contempt.
he's accumulated numbers of fines, and they'll want to recoup that money. That
Should the law be more stringent in the cases like that?
But you
Should
can't.
I mean,
You cannot go the hammer with one person and the feather duster to another. Everything has to be equally done. You can't just say, well,
I mean, he's someone who's basically living outside the law. He is a modern outlaw, and not in a romantic good way. He just doesn't believe that the law applies to him.
Yeah.
And there are certain people
Because of his
certain
beliefs.
people in the news at the moment, all around the world, who are in power in
But
various countries where the law does not apply to
well,
them.
you take it this way. At the end of the day, when the church didn't stand up to represent them, then the church don't fully agree with his beliefs.
But the church didn't outright condemn him either. which
No,
was-
but
Well, the church is very good at keeping a tight lip.
Which they have done in the
as
past.
it affects
Anyway.
controversial stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't talk about it, it can't be held against you, which is has been bail in the house, which is not a good not a good way to be. The church should be more outspoken and give the Christian belief.
Well,
this
this is where the question lies now. Where do the Burkes attack next? Is it going to be on the church at the bishop's door or the cardinal's door, or is he going to take his fight to the Vatican, or is it going to be just against the Irish government for what they've done?
The Vatican is the church, and the Vatican condones what the church does.
So his next attack could be over there
in the Vatican.
Yeah, get a slice of pizza on your way.
Well,
you don't want to get hungry.
I tell you what, I don't think the Italian authorities would be quite as understanding.
While we talk about the Vatican, the president incumbent of the Vatican, the Pope, we wish him well and speedy recovery.
Still recovering, yeah.
Yes, it looks like he's on his way back.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yes.
He put through a long spell now of
He went through a lot of it there, yeah.
pneumonia, was it, that he had developed?
Pneumonia, septicemia as well. And
Sepsis, yeah.
there was double pneumonia.
It's a dangerous time. Dangerous time. Well, thank God he's made it through. So, shall we go to another piece of music?
Yes, and then we'll come back and have a little bit more.
Right, here's J. Purity
National
this time, and it's Dreaming of Belmont.
Oh, Belmont, I'm wishing that I could be with you. And each night my dreams, they take me across the waters blue. And each day I rise in Boston, the tears like rain do flow. 'Cause I'm far away from Erris in the county of Mayo. It's 10 long years ago today I left my native shore and said goodbye to Erris and the folks that I adore. I sailed away to the USA and bid farewell to all. But now I'd love to go back to the place where I was born. Oh, Belmont, I'm wishing that I could be with you. And each night my dreams, they take me across the waters blue. And each day I rise in Boston, the tears like rain do flow. 'Cause I'm far away from Erris in the county of Mayo. I'd really love to live again in that little Irish town, with its beauty and its grandeur. It's a place of high renown. I'd settle down forever and never move away. And I'd watch the men cast out their nets on lovely Blacksod Bay. Oh, Belmont, I'm wishing that I could be with you. And each night my dreams, they take me across the waters blue. And each day I rise in Boston, the tears like rain do flow. 'Cause I'm far away from Erris in the county of Mayo. Yes, I'm far away from Erris in the county of Mayo.
For good music, this is your community radio station, Erris FM. This is your swinging station.
Welcome back to Erris FM here with alternative facts on 90.8 FM and on various social medias. So we're talking at the moment about national things. And one of the things which I hadn't considered to be a national topic as far as Ireland was concerned was the problems that they had at Heathrow Airport yesterday.
Everything shut down.
Everything shut down because of massive power failure. But as with the interconnectedness of everything in life nowadays, it had impacts on Ireland in several respects. First of all, planes coming across the Atlantic were diverted to, among other places, Shannon. I mean, the planes were diverted as far away as Lyon in the south of France, neither of which are particularly useful if you're heading to Heathrow.
Very
But
true.
also, we had an awful lot of people who use Heathrow as a hub. I mean, lots of people go from Knock. There's a Aer Lingus flight to Heathrow and onward. I know various people who've been all over the world using it. It's a very useful interconnectedness. But if a hub, which is the busiest airport in Europe, just because of one failure can totally shut down, we have to think of, is this the best way of doing things? And possibly the passenger cap at Dublin Airport is really having detrimental effects. If they increase the number of people who could go through Dublin, then people wouldn't have to fly to Heathrow.
Yeah, well, the same happens in a lot of airports. If there's a problem in one airport, the surrounding airports are usually affected because flights have to be diverted.
Well,
if there's a problem in Shannon, the flights would have to be diverted to Dublin or to Heathrow or some other airport.
Yeah, but there's this ongoing saga of passenger numbers in Dublin Airport. If more flights to more places were going from Dublin, then people wouldn't be trapped in limbo because they can't get into Heathrow because their own flight's been cancelled, and more importantly, if they've got as far as Heathrow, they can't get out again, going to wherever they're going.
Another problem again lies.
Yeah, what exactly happened in Heathrow?
There was a big transformer substation that supplies
most of the
airport and quite a lot of the locality outside the airport. I was very surprised to find out that there isn't an interconnect between. Normally, you have a built-in redundancy. You've got power coming from two completely separate grids, so that if one goes down, the other is automatically takes over.
So it was a power center that failed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was a fire. Was there a fire involved?
The fire in the substation.
Oh yeah.
But normally in a situation like that, you would have this interleaved two power supplies, so that if one goes, the other one can take over automatically. But as a cost-cutting issue, when they redeveloped Heathrow, they didn't put one in, and how that was allowed to happen, God only knows. And I'm sure in retrospect, people
a lot of questions to be answered. Well, with that, we're going to have to go and take a break because we have a couple of guests coming in, and we'll be talking about the history of the tidal pool and the advancements it has taken and what to look ahead to in the future. So we're going to play a little bit of Michael S. Tarr with Siesta in a Fiesta.
I sold my Honda 50 'cause the nights they got so cold. went to the credit union. This is what I was told. If you have £1 and you get £3, 10 for the big 3-0. Arrow wasn't I the cute one? I had 400 there of gold. I seen this nice Fiesta, an 88 MO. The year was 1999 and she looked the yoke to go. Recliners on the front seat, a digital stereo, go fat stripes and alloys, and a CB radio. Oh, siesta in a fiesta, nearly every single night. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, the crack was 99. Siesta in a fiesta, the only way to go. The smallish passion wagon in the county of Mayo. At every dance and disco, myself and that man Shan would be there to lend a helping hand to the girls who look for love. And we'll do a chop the wire was the universal cry. And in the back of the old Fiesta, many the girl did sigh. Oh, siesta in a fiesta, nearly every single night. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, the crack was 99. Siesta in a fiesta, the only way to go. The smallish fashion wagon in the county of Mayo. The busiest fashion wagon in the county of Mayo.
Yes, ladies and gents, that was Michael Lestaro with Siesta in a Fiesta. Anyway, we're joined in the studio by three beautiful ladies, and we're keeping Eddie in control. We're tying him over in the corner so he behaves himself. But I'm going to hand over to Paul, and Paul's going to start off the interview with the ladies, and it's all to do about our tidal pool here in Belmont.
Yes, well, as James says, we've got three guests here. I think the first thing we can do is ask you to introduce yourselves to the people out there and tell us a little bit about the history of the tidal pool. I don't know which one of you wants to start this. It's entirely up to you. Who feels that they've got most?
Well,
Off you go.
maybe.
I'm Mary Maughan, and I was the first chairperson of the tidal pool committee.
So yes, you're the person to start.
And my friend Anne McGuire, whose husband was responsible for giving us the idea of a tidal pool. Anne is here with me.
I'll maybe come in at that stage. Because, I'm Anne McGuire, by the way. And while we were on holidays, my husband Frank McGuire and family in Jersey, we were one day spinning around because the weather wasn't fit to go to the beach. So we decided to have a spin around the island. And Frank spotted out on this promontory a pool. And the idea, he said, this is interesting. Out he got in the Gale Force 10 and walked out to the pool and stepped it. And he had no pin with them, but he, did his best and tried to memorize what it was and the size of it. And he came home and he approached his friend Pat McManaman, who was the local engineer in the council at the time, and put it to him, would it be feasible for Show Road? Show Road at that time was very popular with the young kiddies. That's where they went. And I think Pat must have said, God rest him, that it could be and that he'd look into it. And came back to him and said, well, I think it could be done. And with the council workers as well, that they they could do that as a project, and that if we could at that stage, well, the swimming club was there, but if we could raise the money for concrete and whatever else went into it, they would probably use it and maybe approach Tim Quinn and the councillors for their local contribution. And I leave. That was the start of it.
But
not the swimming club now. The swimming club was, I think, formed at that stage.
At that stage, yeah. But what was there before the tidal pool?
There was a
rock. There was the rock.
It wasn't an area where people went swimming.
Well, they did actually.
Further out they used to.
No,
just there.
that the particular area.
But that, for a number of years, was confined to the gentlemen in the area. The ladies weren't allowed to swim there.
Since they
had to go to Bundula to swim.
The women.
The women and the late Archdeacon Feeney did not want the women swimming on Shore Road.
1970s, was it?
Well,
in the 1970s, yeah. But we formed the swimming club in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And then we took up the project when we tried to have a swimming, we tried to organise getting a swimming pool before that, a geothermal one, but that never got off the ground. And then when Frank came up with the idea,
geothermal. Could you explain that a bit?
We had a meeting about it. There was a public meeting about it in Balmullet way back in I'd say the 80s, the early 80s, but it never got. It was to be up in Church Road, top of Church Street, and that didn't get off the ground. So the tidal pool then
geothermal. What was that? That was a kind of a partially heated,
the water coming from the ground.
Well, like the laser, the underneath, but the air to water or water to air,
Yeah.
What they use now.
How plausible would that be?
How
would it be feasible, that thing? Would it?
Well,
would it be a practical
personally,
thing?
I didn't know anything about it, but some people seem to think it was feasible.
Yeah.
I think you have looked into it. Have we spoken about it for the pool as it is, about some form of heating? And I think you have explored that, have you, Michelle?
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Michelle Healy. I am on the current swimming club committee for Balmullet Tidal Pool. In relation to, I suppose we've looked at a lot of different things that we could do. A lot of people would say, oh, could you heat it? But I think that takes the goodness out of it. I think that the thing that works for Shore Road is it's open, it's free, it's fresh, it's salt, it's healthy. There's no chemicals, there's no, it just works.
24 hours a day.
24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah. So long as we have the hardy annuals, Michelle and her mum, it works.
But you see, everyone, now, I suppose, compared to back then, everyone has wetsuits. So, there's a big difference in relation to how people would perceive the cold. And you'll always have the hardy ones that are going in with their tighty whities and going for it.
Like me.
Mm-hmm. But we have loads. I think it's been brilliant to see the usage increase. And I know COVID had a lot to do with it. But in adults, it would have always kind of been family, but mainly kids. For so many years, you would have had a certain amount of adults that would use it, but it was more because the kids were using it. But we've seen such a massive influx of adults now. It's fantastic to see, and it's really been utilised. And again, it's the salt water. It's non-chemical. It's not heated. It's as some people do come out and say, I'm at one with nature when I come out of the pool. It's upon other words.
Like the popularity of night swimming and early morning swimming, that has enhanced since COVID massively.
Massively. Like anyone that's on shift work, the pool down there is busy from 6:30 in the morning right through until it could be 11 or 11:30. We see a lot of the paramedics, and that when they come off shift, particularly if it's been quite a tough shift, that they would go in for their cold water dip for their sanity. And
Yeah,
their
well,
switch
I've
off
asked a
and-
few, in fact, and the main answer seems to be it wakes me up.
Yeah.
It gives me something to drive on. I may be tired after a shift. We'll go in for a swim and I feel as fresh as a daisy and it recharges me. That's what has been said.
Yeah, de-stress, recharge,
Therapeutic.
There's the amount of words that are there, as long as it's done safely and properly. Like you're always going to have an argument, or people are going to say, "Oh, this and that," and it's too cold, or But be mindful. Everybody, as an adult, everybody has enough common sense to look after themselves and not to stay in too long, and make sure that they rewarm properly. And that's how you get the benefit out of anything. You use it, don't abuse it, and enjoy it.
And it got an award. Was it last year for being one of the top 10 in Europe?
Yeah, well, we got, I suppose, not an award as such, but we were named in quite a few newspapers.
In the Guardian,
recognition.
I think the Guardian was the first one.
The
to
Guardian
take it.
was one of the first ones, and then we were listed. We've been in loads of different magazines and internet articles, from swimming magazines, golfing magazines, fishing magazines, hiking magazines. There's been quite a lot of them. And actually, the book I have here with me is this is by Chris Romer Lee, and he contacted us, and he was researching tidal pools, natural pools, all over the world. And he came and he had a visit with us, and we're the first pool under the European section of it. But he came, he's an architect by trade. And again, when he came, he just said it's the simplicity of the tidal pool that is it just works. Do you know? And
Nothing high tech, it just boom. It
is, and it is the simplicity of it that still makes it work to this day. And we have these ladies and a few more ladies and gentlemen to thank very much for it, because without it at the moment, I think we'd be very, very lost.
Yes, 40 years is, well, 41 it will be now. Years ago, you started trying to get this off the ground. What sort of problems did you have at the very beginning, trying to get people interested and trying to raise money as much as anything else?
Raising money wasn't that easy, but it was fun actually. We had jumble sales of work, cake sales. We actually did a house-to-house collection in the area, in the town, because we wanted to see what kind of support we would get, and that went fairly well. And
so you could judge from the doorstep that you were on the right track.
Yes. We took over from the church there, and we had fashion show. We had raffles. Can you think of anything else?
Barbecues. On St. John's night.
Anne McGuire and Mary Mohan were on that original committee. Who else was on it?
We had a great secretary. Now, we had one of the best secretaries you could have in the area, Eva Riley. Eva was fantastic. Then we had Joan Kelly and Pat Quinn, Lord Rester, were joint treasurers. We had Annie May Leach, who was another great committee member, and Maureen Conley, God rest her. They were the working committee. Yeah.
The gentlemen were very thin on the ground.
We had no men on the committee.
No men.
No men. No. And we didn't see all the pitfalls and the timber. We were all out of them.
You mentioned Frank McGuire and
but
they were background.
They were background. They were never.
But were they involved in the actual building of the?
Pat McManaman would be the overseer. Yeah, of course he would. And it was a big responsibility.
Was it all voluntary labour or
council? It was the council. Took it on.
Yeah.
And was that difficult to actually get them?
I can't remember the name of the crowd. Was there manpower? What?
Well, there were different. There were
like
ANCO, and there was
FOS, but
different
they're
courses.
in those days. There
Yeah,
were
yeah,
those,
they used whatever.
Quangos, whatever you call them.
I think ANCO
That
is
they
the
did all the
equivalent of like
voluntary
the
Yes,
sea
ANCO
work
was
and,
way
yeah.
back
Yeah.
then. Yeah, that one comes into my mind.
But there was a lot of voluntary work
Oh,
there
there
as
was a
well.
lot of
There
voluntary
was,
work.
there was,
Yes,
there
yeah,
was.
yeah,
Otherwise, and like,
Actually, I thought it was sooner than 85. I thought it was the tidal pool was a bit older than it is.
no, well, I know we
84.
came to Belmullet in 70s, in the 1970s, and it would have been a few years after.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went.
So I think even that,
But the swimming, the swimming club was formed,
Oh, the
like,
swimming club.
Yeah.
and they were swimming off and they were having the lesson, and they were using the pier over.
so I think that
Down
they were
the
saying
docks here.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that
yeah.
the reason that
course.
Shore Road was chosen for the pool because it was already being used for the swimming lessons, and then the rock that's
was the
there at the
big-
back of the pool, that was classed as the teaching rock. And if you could get from the shore out around the rock and back in again, then you were ready to move up to the next level. And even James McLaughlin, who is one of our he's still comes down to examine our classes. He got his 50 years of service award from Water Safety Ireland there not so long ago, and he would have come down instructing and examining, and so he's been coming for
It must be 50 years.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
as it
At
is.
least 50
But
years.
before my time, as I said.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's the reason why that area was chosen, because the swimming club had already started to use it for the swimming lessons, as well as the pier, down Knight's Pier there at the end of Key Street, that was used as well for the older ones, but that the younger kids all started there along the path in Shore Road.
And then the other thing, we ran into difficulty at the end to finish it. Funds were running low, and we were a bit desperate. So we heard the minister for the Gaeltacht was coming to town at the time, the Messiah as we knew him at that time. He Flynn,
Who was he? Flynn?
he Flynn, the
Flynn.
Messiah, as he called himself. And Mary and
You could
myself
talk about it, yeah.
got wind of it, and that he was going to Travanall on his visit, and we waylaid him up on the road, so halfway up, and told him all about the pool. And very shortly after, we got the check for 10,000, which finished it, and
Very
that was
good,
the end
very
of the
good,
fundraising,
yeah.
and had some money over,
So roughly how long was it from first,
beginning to it.
beginning to end? Yes.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
I'd say 2
2 to 3
Two.
years.
That
So
was-
really-
that wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
time.
Quite
No,
quickly.
that was
Yeah,
good. That was good
yeah.
work. yeah.
Because, you know, leaving it unfinished it was, and people said to Mary,
It was quite
it's
dangerous.
dangerous, and that was a worry.
And we had
But the area was
we had
dangerous. Yeah.
kind of threats that we might be sued if anything happened. Children, you know.
Yeah.
That's that's something to be thought about as well, isn't it? Yeah. But how is it now? Is it does it empty and fill with the tide?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
So at the moment, there's sluice valves. So we have a big pool. For anyone that doesn't know the tidal pool, there is a big pool and a small pool, and there's a sluice valve on both of the pools. So we can open it whenever we need to. For it to fill fully or over the top, we would need a 3.6 meter tide, which we don't get as often as we would like. So what we do is we would drop the water levels a couple of times during the month, kind of let the silt and the sand and the seaweed and stuff out. And then it either tops over the top with the high tide or with the waves. And then on the weeks where it's very calm and the water isn't coming over, we have salt water pumps that have thankfully, well, some of it was bought by the club and some of it was sponsored by local companies. So the salt water pumps go on and that fills and floods the pool then to keep the water fresh. And then when it's emptied completely, it's a combination of community sweep, where we throw a couple of text messages out to a lot of our parents and swimmers and come at whatever time, bring a brush and we sweep.
Get busy.
Yeah, that's it. I said everybody gets stuck in, and it's a lovely it's a lovely event in the fact that everyone comes, the kids come, everyone has brushes and buckets and spades and
Another community event.
yeah, and it really is, and it's so nice, and it's nice that the kids can get involved, and everybody's kind of, you know, having a bit of crack, and we might throw a bit of music on, and as Lizzie's magic boot, my mom had the kids to always look for Lizzie's car because she always has a box of drinks or crisps or sweets or something in the boot, so everyone to be looking for the boot afterwards. But we usually try and coincide the community sweep then with a high tide. So when it's all cleaned out, we close the valve, and then we wait. We kind of give a time, rough time for the high tide, and then all the kids and family and everyone will come, and they wait for the tide to fill over the top, and it's like a waterfall effect, and all the small ones are underneath
some
the
lovely
water.
pictures, some lovely pictures taken.
Oh, it has.
It's a big event.
It's really has,
yeah,
and
look
got
forward
bigger
to it.
and bigger. But like it's really lovely. And then like at all the times in between, then we're very, very lucky that the rural social scheme workers give us a hand, especially the times when the seaweed and the silt and everything is quite heavy, and the heavy lifting that I wouldn't be strong enough for, they get involved. And then we have another lad as well that helps us out with the power washing, and we need the power washing in between each of the sweeps just to keep on top of the moss and stuff, so it's not slippy or dangerous. But yeah,
So
we're very
So
lucky.
there is quite a lot going on behind the scenes that
Massively, and
a lot of
all
work that people
voluntary.
don't know about.
Lot of
Yeah,
work,
a
a lot of
yeah,
work.
and it's
Yeah.
a credit to those who are doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know,
And,
In
but,
our day, the fire brigade used to do their exercises. that was there was it every second Wednesday. They cleaned the pool out for us.
yeah, well, that
And-
was
as part of their
Took that
training.
out.
they were
As part of their training.
Yes,
Part
part
of their
the
training,
they,
yeah.
they were availing of the facility there. as
Yes.
well,
It was
so,
fantastic
yeah,
for us.
yeah.
You know, we'd
So-
have to do a certain amount ourselves, but they would clean it out for us.
We've had to call on them a few times in the last few years as well. I think like it's, I suppose as a community, and the swimming club in general, we've been very lucky to have such a strong committee from the very beginning, and before my time. Like, you know, starting like off with like Eve Riley and the gang that would have been in it then, and then moving forward from when I remember, and I hate naming names that you feel that you leave out people, but Anne Carey would have been the chairperson, and a lot of the women from Shore Road would have been involved that time before my mom got involved. And everyone whose kids were swimming, you kind of just got stuck in, and somebody would be taking names and somebody would be watching kids. And I started swimming there from the age of 4, and just, yeah, it was kind of, you know,
And
there was
Carrie
always a
did
strong,
Trojan work there.
oh,
On
absolutely.
her own, I
yeah.
often passed, and she would be there with one of their daughters.
The one that, yeah,
yeah.
Michelle
Yeah.
was an instructor, and Teresa O'Toole and Teresa Dean and others. I'll leave somebody out, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
want
know.
to
I
name.
know.
But absolutely massive work, and I always remember them being there from when I was a child. And then I was trained by Michelle Carey, Anne's daughter. She was the swimming instructor, and we did our lifeguard and our swim teaching. And then I suppose when Anne and them retired, Mom took over as chairperson, and I kind of got roped into a lot of other stuff that I didn't really want to do.
But somebody
Thank God
has
for the
to.
rope.
Yeah, that's it. Thank God for the rope. I don't know. But, you know, we're very, very, very lucky that, you know, that, as I said, an awful lot goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. And it's often fine. I'm face here on the radio, or talking on the radio, and the face on Facebook that might be doing the interviews or taking the pictures, but there is a lot of people behind the scenes there that without the work that they do, we wouldn't be as successful, or even the pool wouldn't be in the condition,
Oh,
the
that's,
great condition that it's in, only
It's,
for them.
It's great that you can call on people like that. Yeah,
Oh,
which is,
massively. Yeah. And since it's got busier, we have a lot more offers of help and everything, and it's really nice to see. I think there was even one story that stands out most from last summer, and we had a really rough couple of tides, and we were right in the middle of the swimming lessons. And the pool, when it starts to fill too much with seaweed, it gets oily. It's not that it's dirty, like the water is quite clean, but the oils from the seaweed make it look kind of oily and dirty, and even the clarity of the water. And we were like, right, we have to empty it before the next set of lessons. So we had put a call out and we were like, okay, right, we're going to do this and let's see how we get on. And we had 1 or 2 show up from work on their lunch break. But ended up halfway through their lunch break up to their chest in water and seaweed, trying to lift the seaweed out, that they couldn't go back to work. And anyways, we found out that there was a stone clogging the valve and we couldn't get any water out or any seaweed. So we put a call in, and fair play to the lads from the fire brigade, so Fabian and Gary and them came down. And between everyone that had kind of mucked in and did everything, that we got the valve clear. The poor women that came for their lunch break got a seaweed bath and the full works at the same time. They went for the full spa experience. And but yeah, again, it's the power of the call out.
So you don't have to go to any scroll for it.
That's it, exactly. Don't be paying a fortune. You just need to go to the pool.
How often would you need to clean it out? How often would seaweed come in? Would it come in on every tide, or just on a storm? Or
on the storm, it would be a lot more. It kind of dumps it into it. Whereas when it's a bit calmer, a lot of the seaweed would float over the top and we wouldn't get as much dropped into it. Back when things were quieter, so pre-COVID, when the pool would have been quite seasonal, you wouldn't really clean it during the winter at all because people wouldn't be using it. But now it's used 12 months of the year, 7 days a week. So we are cleaning it. Yeah, currently about 10 degrees at the moment, I said. But yeah, we would need to clean it monthly. Like it's fully emptied on a monthly basis and then dropped. Water levels dropped on a weekly basis then. So if anyone ever pulls me or mom in on the side of the road, you see these big massive valve opening things in the boot. Don't get on the wrong side of us. Yeah. So.
But I guess, it's an ideal spot for a pool, well selected in the beginning, because the slope going down and everything like that. It's like an ordinary pool, isn't it?
And then with the paving, the prom built at what time?
Yeah, the prom. I don't know. Would that have been 2018 time?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just made a mess.
That's enhanced it completely.
Yeah, but it's not just a swimming pool now. It's at the area.
There's at the area. That's the area.
And is there a sauna somewhere there?
But the car park then was what?
The car park, was
2
about
years ago. That was a big.
Oh yeah,
that was
you
badly
look
needed.
back at the photographs of before the car park and how dangerous, how badly parked we used to be compared to where that is now. Where there's such a huge difference.
Two cars wouldn't pass there at one time.
No. It's added to it.
But the walkway itself has been a fantastic addition because we clocked it. It's a kilometre. So if you start at the tidal pool logo on the wall and you walk out towards the end of Shore Road, you come back in past the car park to the slip and around. It's a kilometre walk. And what we found is a lot of the physios have started referring people down to walk because it's flat with very little incline. So anybody with any kind of muscular injuries, hip injuries, knee, anything like that, they're all availing of it. And it's great for kids as well. Anyone small ones out scooting and cycling, and it's safe. It's all on the footpath, and there's a great buzz around the place as well. I think no matter when
there is,
even
lovely.
when you come down and you'd be sitting on the benches.
And we come down maybe on a Sunday, so we may not be in the tidal pool, but we can sit there, have our coffee.
You don't jump in anymore.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately, but we can sit down, have our coffee, look out, talk to people, interact. We get great pleasure out of it.
It would be
great pleasure, and tell them the story. They all ask.
Social immunity.
They all want to hear the story about it.
I think so. And then, when Martina and Fiona opened the Seabiscuit, that was so nice. And then Ellis opened the sauna last year.
Where is the sauna, by the way?
It's parked in the car park. It has it
and
there.
It's solid fuel heated, is it?
It's wood. I think it's
wood
logs.
It's
like a little kind of a stove thing inside it. So that's how they eat it.
And would you, after taking a cold dip, would you go straight for the sauna, or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
is
tend
there
to
any
go
advice
in
on that?
and out.
and
Oh,
back in.
I
out
won't
again.
say
From
too
very
much.
cold to very hot, there's no problem.
Yeah.
There can
That's
be.
the
There
well,
can
can
be,
be,
but
that's the
it's-
idea.
It's it's the same as everything. It has certain benefits, and it's as long as you do it wisely and safely, then you will reap the benefits of it. You know, yeah.
And you haven't got cardiac problems.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
that's if you do have cardiac issues, I would be very mindful and speak to your GP prior to taking part. That's just my general answer on that. But it is on a nice hot day. It's like the prom on Salt Hill, is it? You know, the buzz, the ice creams, the
Well,
coffee.
I think it's even better than that because you have fantastic views over the bay.
That and you don't have the craziness of all the traffic that goes with it. There's, you know, there's something really
We
nice
hope
about
it
it.
be feasible for Martina to continue. You know,
Hopefully.
weather. Yeah.
I
hopefully.
know the weather hasn't
She's up
been
against
too
it.
kind.
No,
kind
it
from
hasn't.
her. But there is talk we like that because the pool is 40 years old. The structure was starting to get some cracks and it was leaking a little bit. So we have been working with the council for putting in applications for funding. So back in, it was actually 2018, there was the first bit of funding came in and just the top wall of the pool was resurfaced. It was very rough and kind of getting a little bit dangerous.
It's a walkway now around.
It is.
You can walk around it,
all the way around it. So that was resurfaced first. And then we had put in then for getting it resurfaced or just getting the cracks fixed to stop the leaks. So the first bit of funding for that, the work was done about 2 years ago now, and they used, I don't actually know what it's called, but it was specialized stuff that they pumped into the cracks that allowed for the movement and wasn't dissolved by the salt water. And that has worked really, really well. But like everything, funding runs out. So we had to then reapply for additional funding to get the outer wall done, which we received. So we're waiting actually for the council to, I think the job had gone out for tender. So we're hoping that the work will get a date because our swimming lessons start now in May. It'll probably be September before that work will start. But they are supposed to be fixing all the cracks and re-wrapping. I'm not very good when it comes to the construction side of things, but they're supposed to be re-wrapping the outer structure to re-strengthen the walls, and then they're going to redo or just top up the work that they've done in the inside of it. So that's where part of that funding goes to. And then also then with tourism, they are looking into shelters, and we've never had permanent changing rooms or toilets, and I don't particularly want permanent changing rooms. Just it's the hassle, I think, and stuff that goes with it. We don't open or close. The pool is open and it's free, and that's what works.
And the more facilities you have, the more management of the place is.
Yeah, and it's
and it attracts
who's opening and locking them and opening them and who's cleaning them. And you know, at the moment, poor Liz goes down and cleans the Portaloo toilets on a daily basis.
That's your mother.
Yeah. And she does that off her own bat.
She's a hard
every
worker.
single day. Yeah. And yeah, you know, so when you bring in shelters as opposed to enclosed changing rooms and just a cold water shower, like we have the tap, but we just want to shower head so that people can rinse off afterwards. And we've also asked, there's lots of different things that we've asked for, but I don't know exactly what comes in under the budget. Speed ramps or zebra crossing to try and slow down the traffic, and solar lighting that will shine down over the pool, because we have a lot of out of hour swimmers. You know, when especially coming into the winter, when we've got the shorter days, the gang that are swimming at 6 or 6:30 in the morning or swimming at 8 or 9 at night because of shift work, you've the push button solar light, the light comes on for 10 or 15 minutes and it goes back off again. So we don't have to worry about the light pollution side of it, and it's solar powered. So that's what we're looking for. Whether we get that or not is a bit of a lottery at the moment, I think. Yeah.
Well, I take it the council would do that and can But our local representatives, in some of them in charge at the moment, it might be the time to apply or put pressure on.
Well, that's and we like Sean Carey and Jerry
yes.
have been very, very good to us. Joe, very good and very supportive of us for the last while. And you know, we are lucky, and I think people really see the benefit of it now.
Oh, the benefit is obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious, yeah.
You know,
And
when-
kind of the credit is obvious too, to the people who initially started it and carried it through. So,
Well, I think a lot of credit is due to Michelle here. And her
well,
mum.
no, I don't know now. Is it like that? Is
she's
it
like her mother.
And we
We
would
wouldn't
like people,
have,
hard worker.
we'd like people to appreciate it.
well, we wouldn't have the facility without all the hard work that went into it.
I think this area owes a great debt of gratitude to Liz and yourself.
Yeah.
You've
Well, I think-
really put the title pool on. It's become famous on account of you. You've put it on the map, and you've done
That's
so much work,
social
Michelle.
media.
And
we're
let
also
me tell you,
thankful.
Mary, you're not the only organisation that used them. Some other organisations
I-
use
I
Liz
agree
and
with you, Eddie,
Michelle as well.
but they're fantastic.
Yeah,
But they are
It's
standing
a big,
on
it's a big
the shoulders of
commitment.
giants
It's a
who
big-
actually
it's a
got
big
it
com-
going
big commitment.
in the first place.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So you just want to, it's, I suppose for us, we love what we do, but we've come from a good generation that have brought us through. And there was always hard work put into the swimming club and always hard work put into the tidal pool. And, you know, so we want to make you proud. And, you know, and it's such a fantastic amenity for the area, especially when we don't have an indoor pool at the moment. Yeah, and it's there. Fine, it doesn't suit everybody because of the cold, but it's there and people can use it, and it's a massive tourism draw.
Those who don't want to go for a cold dip, they can go to the sauna.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's-
there you go.
Have your cup of coffee.
Cup
But
of
even if
coffee
you-
and
you don't
have
even
a
have to
chat.
swim.
It's a great
Yeah.
hub. It's a
That's
great hub.
Yeah. Even if you don't swim, come walk, chat, have a giggle, and I think that's what it's all about. It's kind of everybody is welcome and everybody is, yeah. That's
all the stuff that comes in, the seaweed, the sand, and whatever else. Any problem with fish coming in?
yeah, that was highlighted on our social media there
Was it?
a year or two ago.
Yeah.
We would randomly. There was, when was it? It was July, not last year, the year
2 years,
before. Yeah, and it hadn't happened for a while prior to that, but there was a lot of sprat and mackerel. A lot of people said that they thought there was a whale out in the bay and it was pushing them, but it was I suppose season for them. So with the high tides, we ended up with like thousands and thousands of sprat in the pool.
They're edible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but mackerel.
Mackerel. Yeah.
My lads, they were pulling out mackerel.
Were they?
Yeah, not bother. There was thousands and thousands of them in it. But like that, we had kept the pool closed to try and see if they'd swim out with the tide. Then there was no sign of them swimming out, and we couldn't keep them in because you couldn't move. You could feel them everywhere every time you were swimming. So then we opened the valves trying to let them out, but God love them, they didn't have enough sense to swim with the flow of the water. So we ended up with a lot of dead sprat. Seagulls were delighted. So then we had to have the whole cleaning process where you had to remove, because the scales and everything like that. So we had to clean it down. And we only had that done and they came back in again. So we had a couple of days of that. But thankfully that doesn't happen too often. But you know, it's a sign that it's healthy as well. That they
it is a sign.
they wouldn't be near us if the water wasn't good.
Yeah.
But in relation to the pool, the water quality, we are tested by the EPA on a
Okay.
regular basis and stuff like that too. So
Could be entertaining as well to watch them around.
all the
would love
kids
it, I'd say,
come
yeah.
down with their fishing nets and their buckets,
Yeah,
and it's a great novelty. And yeah,
Go home,
it was
home with the meal.
well, it was when we had let some of the water out, obviously some of them had passed, so the mackerel as well, and they were good, decent sized mackerel, and the kids are within duck diving down, picking the obviously dead mackerel up because they wouldn't have been able to catch them otherwise, but they were coming to the top and they were like, I caught this, and they brought them home and they cooked them and everything, and it was great. They'll always remember that. But in relation to you'll always have like a couple of sprat and stuff like that in the pool, but not massive amounts. And then jellyfish would be another one.
You wouldn't get the lobster, right?
No. There was a couple of mini crabs and stuff like that would kind of be around because of the stones and stuff outside the pool. But jellyfish would be the other side of things. And again, like that, the lifeguards or the swim teachers, we would monitor it, and we have nets that we take them out and we place them back in the sea, unless they're
the
really,
jellyfish
really
would be the unwelcome.
Some of them are harmless, and we try and teach the
Mm.
children as well as to which ones are harmless and which ones to stay away from. So
that's the way of teaching, isn't it?
but, and it's a way of life. We're in their home, really, so you have to have respect for them. And then the other thing then was the odd time we'll have a seal that comes in, and I don't know, is it the same one? But he pops up quite regularly.
Looking for a meal.
Yeah, but even when we're swimming, a lot of the time we'd be doing distance swimming up the open water when we're preparing for the swims, and we'd be swimming along like the along shore road, and you'd get one that just pops up kind of every now and again, and you just kind of keep an eye on them. And the novelty is there, I think, for the kids as well. So as long as they keep their distance, they're fine.
And I take it the temptation would be as well to go up on the wall and jump into the sea, would it? Would people still do that?
Oh, from the...
You're going into the open sea.
Yeah, once that's high enough.
Yeah.
Once the rock is covered, you're safe enough
to
jump off.
The rock used to be a diving spot.
Yeah.
One time, yeah.
So if anybody wants to find out more about the swimming club, who do they contact?
In relation to
joining or finding activities
or helping.
Or helping. Facebook page, Instagram page, or just come to us directly. Me, Mom, there's quite a lot of us. Fiona, Eileen, Anne. We kind of have a team at the moment of about 18. Majority of us are all swimming instructors or trainee swimming instructors. But yeah, anyone that wants to, we try and throw the cleaning and things like that up on our social media and throw it out into the WhatsApp groups. But yeah, come bring a brush, have a bit of a giggle and get a bit mucky.
Don't be shy.
No, and that's the thing. It's come. We are only delighted to get any bit of help that we can. Even there could be some days where we would be down at the pool and there'd be rake parents, and the high tide might have brought in all the stones and stuff in front of the pool, and I might be going with a brush trying to sweep a path, and a lot of the parents would just get up and take the brush and they'd all start to join in, and it's kind of everybody lends a hand, and yeah, it's feel good all around at the best of times. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a wonderful resource that we have here. We're very lucky, and we should be really thankful to ladies like you who started it all off. It was a good celebration last year for the 40th.
It was nice.
It was a beautiful day.
It was lovely.
With the music and everything.
One of very few days. And it just came in the afternoon.
It just happened.
Morning wasn't great.
It seems to me that the weather does not hinder the activities at the pool. People are there regardless of the weather, but it is nice to get a good day.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's raining or not if you're going to get wet.
Yeah, you've got to go for it anyway.
How long would it be advisable for anybody to stay in the cold water, say on a freezing day? Would it be advisable to stay there for
it would
a number of minutes, or?
It would depend on the time of the year, the water temperature, and what you're wearing. Are you going in togs? Or are you going in a wetsuit? So this time of the year, 10 minutes would be loads. If you're just starting out, 2 minutes is plenty. Yeah, it's important that you acclimatize, and that's where a lot of people would get caught out, as the novelty of it. Oh, I'm going to the tidal pool. Haven't been in the sea for 2 years, but I'm going to jump in anyways, and then end up with cold shock, or or coming out and not being able to rewarm.
Well, to jump in is one thing, but from what I knew or heard earlier on, that kind of thing is if you stay a while and get acclimatized to the air temperature, that the water temperature will not affect you as much when you go in then.
Possibly, but a lot of the time the air temperature was colder than the water temperature at stages there during the winter.
So much the better, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But it's very much in slow and acclimatise.
Yeah.
And breathe. So that's
Well, thank you, ladies, very much for coming and explaining how you got started and how it's continuing, and give us a little more insight into it. It's been very interesting. And I know my daughter used the pool quite a lot when she was in TY. She was dragged down there by Mr.
A lot of credit.
We had great fun.
A lot of credit to those who are still working there, but a lot of credit must go to the ones that started it 50 years ago and are still here. So well done, ladies.
Bit naive, maybe, but
I think it was just such a fantastic idea in the first place. So
it was.
It really was.
Yeah.
But it must be so lovely for ye now to kind of look out and see, and like between kids and grandkids and everyone that's
a great achievement. Yeah, it is.
Right. Well, thank you very much, ladies, and we'll have a little bit of music, and we can then clear the show for another little few minutes.
Just come on in and let me love you. You can leave before the rising sun and slip away in the early shadow and leave me alone when the morning comes. I'll never turn you away when you come here to stay. I'll let you in, love you all I can. I won't ask where you've been or if you come back again. When you knock, you'll always hear me say, just come on in and let me love you. You can leave before the rising sun and slip away in the early shadow and leave me alone when the morning comes. I'm afraid to let you know how much I love you so, how it hurts to see you walk away. The sun will shine someday and find you here to stay. Till then you knock and always hear me say, just come on in and let me love you. You can leave before the rising sun and slip away in the early shadows and leave me alone when the morning comes. Just leave me alone when the morning comes.
This is your community radio station, Erris Fm.
This is your swinging station.
Yes, of course. That previous song there was Colin Henry with Come On and Let Me Love You. We're going to hand over to Paul, and he's going to fill in on the guests we had in previously.
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you to Anne Maguire, Mary Mohan, who are some of the original board of instigating the tidal pool, and Michelle Healy, who's on the current committee. I thought it was a really interesting talk, basically, that they gave us on the history of the tidal pool.
Well, I remember now that I used to swim there before I left for Dublin. I remember when I came back, the construction had started. So you were talking mid-80s then. So like it is a great thing that has been, like, it's a great amenity to the area. It's an attraction to the area where you have you even have people coming in, especially to see.
Oh
the
yes,
tidal pool.
people have asked me, where is it?
Yeah.
When they've come into town,
and I've been asked the question, what is the tidal pool? They've seen something up on Facebook about it and wondered, what is that all about? But when you go out there on a summer's day and you see all the kids out there, the adults, everyone enjoying the day, you can understand why it's a national treasure for Erris, really.
it is. I mean, it's really useful having it here, and I mean, we're really lucky that we have so many people who are prepared to take the time and effort to
it's all on a voluntary
do these
basis.
kind of things, start them off, and more importantly, keep them running.
Keep them well. It's been proven now, long-standing, when you think of all the things that have been done along the shore, like the new railings, new footpaths, the wash ramps coming up from the pool up to the walls. It's absolutely fabulous now.
And the benches along for people to sit and admire the view on a sunny day.
Well, exactly. And it makes a difference to the area. And as we said, we have early morning swimmers and late night swimmers too. And of course, they're hoping to get in a solar lighting system that it'll be people on the nighttime fishing or swimming or early morning will be able to avail of having light there, at least when they go out for the swim, and not. And of course, it'll be on a timer where it's not going to cause light pollution as well in the area. So, like, every aspect has been thought of by the committee themselves.
The fact that it's going to be totally sustainable if it's on photo cells.
Well, like as Michelle said, like even since the car park has been put in, like it's an awful lot safer than it was back in the day. Like there was cars parked every direction, and it was like trying to get through on a game of Tetris at some stages, But yeah, no, big congratulations to the ladies, and of course, thank you for coming in, and we really do appreciate it. I'm going to take a little bit of music, Paul, from Sean Fahey, and here's one entitled "Long Road to Nashville."
I play my music right across the country, played from north to south and east to west. In hot times when I've had to go hungry, I've never given less than my best. I played it loud and fast in New York City, picked it with the best in New Orleans. In Texas, I was downright mean and dirty. I've never played the place of my dreams, 'cause it's a long road to Nashville, the only place I wanna be. The long road to Nashville, Tennessee. It's been a long, hard road back to Nashville, but in my heart I've never been away. I've had to fake it to make it back to Nashville, but now I'm back, I'm here to stay. It's been a long road to Nashville, the only place I want to be. The long road to Nashville, 'cause Nashville's home to me. been a long road to Nashville, the only place I want to be. The long road to Nashville, 'cause Nashville's home to me. The long road to Nashville, the only place I want to be. It's been a long road to Nashville, 'cause Nashville's home to me. It's been a long road to Nashville, the only place I want to be. The long road to Nashville, 'cause Nashville's home to me. 'Cause Nashville's home to me.
Yes, of course, that was Sean Fahey and Long Road to Nashville, released in 2023. Anyway, Paul, we'll be saying our goodbyes now, I'm afraid.
Yes, unfortunately, we run out of time, so the international news will have to wait until next week. But I'm sure there'll be plenty more to talk about.
Well, as usual, there always is. And of course, we have to send our thank you to Eddie, of course, for turning in today. Unfortunately, Ted couldn't be with us, but will be with us again in the next week or two. So just to remind people that you can get Erris FM on Alexa. We are broadcasting on our webpage, which is errisfmradio.com. So you can go on there, and if you're going on your Android phone, you just look at the three lines up in the right-hand corner. Click on that and go to listen to. Scroll down and you'll see play on your screen. And if you're using your computer, of course, you'll see across the tab across the top, you'll see listen in. Click on that and again, scroll down and hit play and you'll get us there. And of course, we're broadcasting 90.8 FM on your airwaves. Anyway, Paul, we say our goodbyes.
Have a good week till next week.
Anyway, and a big thank you for everyone for tuning in today. And I guess, of course, our guests who came in to enlighten us on... It's even title pull. It was gone for a second. Here's a real set from Tradlib.
and on 90.8 FM. This is the sound of Erris, your community radio station, Erris FM.
Hi, my name's Bridget McMahon and welcome to Live and Acoustic. And today we have a guest who's actually talking to us all the way from Germany, and it is Sina Thiel. And hello, Sina, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And I actually got to do a little bit of music with Sina and Chantel, because you've got a very exciting project, haven't you, that you've been working on. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, I